Noticing the lack of melanin in the psychology workforce, I started learning more about meditation, self-regulation, and other tools to allow us to make conscious choices and allow us to show up for ourselves. You can find me at benevolence_disposition on Instagram. This episode is the final of our Adjusting mini-series focused on resiliency in 2020. Eric Purcell and I close out our conversation by just beginning to dig into complicated issues of how it can sometimes be difficult for those experiencing trauma to find support systems, and how really this problem has risen to the surface as many people of Black and Brown communities are faced with the triggering and re-triggering of generational trauma this year. Yet, in the U.S., the vast majority of therapists and counselors are white. Eric says he has a lot to learn about resiliency from the Black community.
And now I guess I'm thinking a lot of the protests of the summer and all the traumas that have come with all of that. I have a hard time feeling like I have anything to say to that struggle. And yet I know I do, but I struggle because I know humans and I know, at least I have a taste of what it means to experience someone doing things to you that aren't right. And the natural response is to then retaliate. And I feel a lot of sadness for, I think especially the Black community who's been working. I don't know how. I feel like I have a lot to learn about resilience. Because I can't fathom hundreds of years, right?
Generationally, yeah.
I cannot fathom it.
Yeah.
But I can look at individuals and see them really hurting under the weight of what they've experienced this last 6 months. And I think what, for me, a little bit as a white man, I have a hard time feeling if I have the authority to say that. And yet I'm like, but it's true though. Like as a human, I think I can say that. And I'm so saddened that it's even a thing. And then I see these broken hearts. And I think I know a little bit about broken hearts, and I feel compelled to, this feels like a way I can participate. But I also feel very, like I don't understand. So how can I feel like I have something to offer? But at the same time, there's the imperative is that has to be done, because if it doesn't, it turns into another version of trauma. It turns into another battle line drawn.
Just to share this with you, you've mentioned that you have a 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine, just even if you can even try, just imagine having to be like, I need to prepare my child.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I cannot break their spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot foster hate.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned before about resilience. The Black spirit has that.
Yeah.
I do believe that, but we're tired.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tiredness that sleep can't help.
Mm-hmm. There's an element for me as a white man who doesn't know when I can speak, when I ought to speak, when I shouldn't speak. And so just being able to have a conversation with you is really honoring to me. I feel honored to be able to have a conversation.
You know, as being someone that studies meditation, offers meditation services for others, personal coaching and literary arts, I enjoy diving deep. And when it comes to things that are generational, whether it be race, whether it be something that maybe, you know, there's other traumas that are generational. I believe I'm really good at having those conversations with people. If they allow me the invitation to help them with that. And I know that's a big ask, because I feel like that's like, imagine like a part of your body is infected and you're like Not only do I not want you to know this is infected, but now I got to trust you to be able to handle taking out the infection without destroying the actual organ or something. Like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe that this the sense of a community is so important. And one of the kind of benefits ish of COVID, as far as online interaction is concerned, is there's forums, there's Facebook groups where you can reach out and start to build some of those relationships and friendships. And just be honest, like nobody is perfect. Nobody is out here like, doing everything perfect all the time, whether they're aware of it or not. And just show up as yourself, and that's enough. Show up as yourself and have an authentic position in your heart that you want to learn, you want to receive, and you also want to bestow wisdom too, because everybody can teach somebody something.
It's a weird place to be a little bit when the power dynamic is what it is, and I'm trying to figure out how to navigate a different way forward. So, but also not diminish the thing that I have to give. So
yes,
that's kind of like, how do I do this? How do I do this in a way that is honoring to others and to myself? So it's a pleasure to be able to have a conversation with you about all this stuff.
Yes, I've definitely enjoyed this. Well, let our listeners know where we can find you.
I do have a web page called ericpurcell.org, where it's a very simple web site that just has my coaching contacts, basically. So that's probably the easiest place to get hold of me. So www.ericpurcell.org.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if anybody would like to get in touch with me, you can find me on Facebook at Benevolence and on Instagram at Benevolence Disposition. And I also have a YouTube channel entitled Benevolence. So at this point, we'll sign off. Until again, noise listeners.